Field Trip artisanal crafted provisions, all natural, gluten-free beef jerky. This is a teriyaki. No preservatives, no added MSG, no nitrates, no corn syrup. Here's our roasted sesame, number 15. Again, look at the packaging. It's a brown packaging, like it's from recycled paper. Neat package. I picked this up. It was given to me as a sample. I don't eat this, but somebody handed it to me, and I said, I know exactly who would enjoy this, so let me pick it up for them. So I gave it to my friend, and I said, hey, here's some jerky. He looked at it, and he goes, I won't eat this, Marcus. And I go, you won't? And he goes, no. He goes, there's nothing good about this. He goes, yeah, there's no MSG, there's no nitrates, there's no corn syrup, there's no preservatives. He goes, but I'm looking all over here, and I think they're just using commodity cattle with hormones, antibiotics, and all that kind of stuff. He goes, I think it's feedlot beef. And he goes, Marcus, you're the one who taught me to read labels. And I said, you're right. I just assumed, though, because I got it at a natural and organic food show, that this was a legitimate product. So this is marketing at its best. So I called this company. I called Field Trip, and I wanted to know where they were sourcing their cattle from for this. Because look, it shows cattle on a green pasture there. So it turns out that they're not sourcing anything special. And he admits that they are using cattle that are fed hormones and antibiotics, and one can only assume that this is feedlot beef, that it's coming from a feedlot, from a bigger producer. It might not be the big guys like IBP and Montford and Excel, but it's probably coming from a bigger production facility. It's definitely probably not coming from, not 100% sure, but it's definitely not coming from that pasture, that cattle out on grass. I asked him, is there anything special about the cattle? Is it grass fed? And he goes, oh no. He goes, well, they are fed grass, but they're fed grain too, and there's just no way that we can really segregate grass and grain, and they go back and forth. So just so you know, once cattle start eating grain, they typically don't go back and forth. They're transferred at 14 months, at a year, at 16 months into a consolidated feedlot where the cattle goes off pasture like that, green grass, and it goes into a factory where they're being fattened up with grain, with corn. And that's where they start pumping hormones and antibiotics, and that's where cattle start getting sick, and that's where all the problems come from. So bottom line is, I got this at the United Natural Food Show. United Natural Food Show. UNFI is one of the biggest health food vendors in the country. They are the ones who supply Whole Foods. They supply health food stores. They supply the organic industry, the natural industry, grocery stores, and restaurants. So the question is, why is United Natural carrying something that would have hormones and antibiotics? Now, Whole Foods or any other health food store would buy this, could pick this up and assume that, hey, this is a legitimate product. I'm not saying it doesn't have those things. It obviously doesn't have those. But when most people go to Whole Foods, they're not looking for hormones or antibiotics in their food. When they're going to a health food store, they want grass-fed, pasture-raised beef, small production, no hormones, no antibiotics. They want something that's more natural. They want something that's more organic. So I think this is a huge misleading thing for United Natural Foods, the industry leaders in the organic and health food movement, to stock an item that has hormones and antibiotics. Now, I'm not sure that Whole Food actually sells this, but I do know that any health food store that brings this in is misleading their customers. I think people, as educated as I am, the guy handed it to me and I just assumed that the product was being made from better quality cattle. I just assumed, and I shouldn't have assumed. So if I assumed, what in the world are regular consumers doing? Because I question everything. And the funny thing was, there was a company there that was doing jerky out of grass-fed cattle, I believe from New Zealand, I saw that booth there, but these guys were very aggressive and out handing out samples, right? So I didn't say no to the guy. It's like, I'll put this to good use, but my friend won't eat this. Buyer beware. Even if you're going into a whole food store, health food store, even if you're walking in the doors of what you think is better food, make sure you read and ask questions. And it's great that they're not adding that right there, the MSG, the nitrates, and corn syrup. I mean, that's great, don't get me wrong. But you can't assume that everything else checks out. And my friend goes, Marcus, it said it's being sourced from Top Round Beef. He goes, that's all it says is Top Round Beef. It doesn't say anything else. It says nothing else. So, of course, the soy sauce, okay, gluten-free, reduced sodium soy sauce, water, soybeans. Those very well could be GMO soybeans. Brown sugar, is that from cane sugar or is that from beet sugar? Is that genetically modified? So there's questions here that really question the quality and the true naturalness of this product. It doesn't say no GMOs on the cover here, right? You'd think that it would say no GMOs. So what are we dealing with? Marketing at its best. Ask questions, and never assume that Whole Foods or any health food store is honestly taking care of you.